In this short video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you're going to do when you come into the classroom and set up to run polling in your class, based around the fact that you're probably going to have a set of quiz questions at the beginning, which you'll need to run in one clicker classroom, and green questions later, where you'll run it in another clicker classroom. So here I have my lecture open in PowerPoint, and before I can be connected to the projector or not, but I'm going to go ahead and run my iClicker. And remember that I have 2 classes set up for every class that I'm going to use. So I want to start off by running the reading quiz class, because we're going to run the quiz first. So I choose that, and I start the session, and of course it says searching for basis using the same frequency. That's going to take a minute. While it's doing that, I can go ahead and get my slideshow going here, play it from the start, and I've got everything mirrored so I don't have to worry about things. I'll move that over here. Now I'm ready to get started with the day. So I have my slide up, introduction, lecture of the day, and then I say to students, okay, we're going to get started with the quiz, just like we always do. So books away, phones away, everyone get your clickers out and be quiet, and we'll go on. I won't read this question to the students. I'll just say, here, first question, and I'll start the poll. And then I'll stand quietly, and I'll wait until this number over here gets to be 75% of what I expect to have. And then I'll say a few more seconds. And because there's only so many different things they can choose between. And I'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, I need to vote. I'm voting too. All right. And then I'll stop the poll. And I'll immediately, you can do this later, but most students prefer if you immediately show them the answer. Ah, well, I see one person answered and they voted A. Excellent. That's the correct answer. I don't know if that's the correct answer or not. And then I'll move on to the next one, and I'll realize my thing is in the way. And I'll say, next question, and open the poll. Give people time. I'll say, vote 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. And I'll say this, B. Now, if you have anything less than 90% correct, you really want to encourage students, hey, this is a reading quiz. These are the simple things we need everybody to know these. I really want everyone to get more than 90%. You telling them that you really want them to get more than 90% is very, very important and helpful. All right, that's the end of my quiz. I only have 2. Now at the end of the quiz, I'm always going to close this session because we need to switch. And this is going to mean I have to do a little sort of dancing around, but I have the topic of the day up and students are putting their clickers away. And so I'm going to come back out here and find that it actually, whenever you close, you get this back up. And I'm going to change course. And I'm going to switch to the participation and choose that and start that session. And now it seems like maybe a long time has gone on, but the students are still putting their clickers away and getting their books out, etc. And then I go on with the topic of the day. And now I'm running the session that will record the green questions, my discussion questions. So set the background, hitting some stage, I might go on for 3 or 4 slides, sort of bringing everything together, maybe have an interesting, meaningful picture. Remember, you're supposed to be coaching students to think more expertly. And then I'll come to one of my green questions, again, realizing that I've got that in the way. And I'll say to students, so why don't you take a minute and everybody answer this question for yourself. And I won't read it to them, even though I'm tempted to. I have made it somewhat easier for them to focus on what they're really, the meat of the question is. And I will maybe not open the poll immediately, that way people don't just push something. I sort of give them an excuse to look at it. And I want to see my counter, so I'll move it down here. And I'll wait till people pull in and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, because this is a question that doesn't have a single right answer, and according to the author, Heidi Keller-Lapp, we want all of these students to make an argument in their groups for each and every one of these options. Probably I had to give them about 10 to 15 minutes to discuss this question with each other. And now I'm going to ask the students to share the thinking of people of what they discussed in their group, and they're going to read out answers that say something like, well, according to, we thought it was B because according to reading 3, paragraph 4, he says blah, 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 and reads a quote. And then they say, this was important because yada, 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 yada. And you'll say, that's interesting. Anybody else have a different argument for B? And you say, how about can somebody make an argument for C? All right, and that goes on for a while. And then maybe I have another question. Maybe I'll do some follow-up lecture. Maybe I have some notes on things I just want to make sure that got brought up in the discussion, and I can have them here as backup and just quickly look through them and say, yes, we covered all these points. Or maybe I want to extend from that question. And then maybe I'll come to another green question, which just best describes your opinion about Rousseau's proposal for the most legitimate form of government. I'll open this, and I will take in votes and say, won't have to wait nearly as long for this time because this is people's own opinion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I just realized I never showed the graph on the last one, which would be something you could do before the group discussion. And I could show the graph immediately, or I could ask people, well, first they need to all go discuss. And then I would ask people to share, what did you guys talk about in your group? That's a very non-committal thing. And then people might say, we said it was this, or one of us said it was D, but then another one of us said it was B because, and that way they don't have to, own up to anything. And I might show the graph, especially if it had a nice diversity of people voting across all the different options. That way people would feel comfortable realizing that they could talk about all the options. If everybody voted A, I probably wouldn't show the graph, at least not before I try to draw out the class-wide discussion. No one will be willing to say anything about B through E if everybody voted A. And when we are done at the end of class, we will close this poll, and then all of the materials stored for the green questions will be stored in this second class that we have, that is the discussion questions.